Okay, I'm back and I want to show you what I've done here. I have sewn this. As you can see, I have stitched it. I've stitched on these little pieces. I used the blue and the mauve pink threads on it. I turned up this edge and stitched it. Just ran some extra stitching inside to tighten down some of the looser fabric in there and also to give it some texture for interest. And then I put the radiant lines coming from the moon on the first block on the sky. And as I go across, those radiant lines will get straighter and straighter until at the very end they should be going horizontal. But we'll see if that looks right when I get it worked out that way. But I just wanted you to be able to see the stitching. I put a few little French knots right up there at the top of that just for the fun of it. No real reason, but it was kind of blank and plain looking, so I thought, okay, I'm going to embellish you just a little, and I did. Okay, so now what does it look like next to the other one? Let's bring you up a little so you can see this placement better. And as we run them together, you can see how this is going to run across. Okay, and even though we're going to have a sashing, we're still going to be able to tell that this is one landscape going across, just like we do in this one here. Okay, let's move that one out of our way now. And so now we need to play with down in here and decide what I'm going to do down in here. I kind of thinking that I might change fabrics in here to something like that, and then use a little of this brown and this over here to pull in this continuity right there, but change this. So I'm going to work with this first. I am going to sew it right over the top of that fold at the bottom down there. Okay, going to do that. Except for this piece, I'm going to stick under, I do believe, and let it play on that like that, something like that. And then this little piece, I don't need a piece that wide. Let me just tear that. People would say, isn't that little enough, Linda? Do you have to make it littler? Well, yeah, if you need it littler, you make it littler, right? All right. And I just needed it littler. So I just need a little piece right there to tuck under there. And when I put that together, that will be enough continuity there. That's good. I like it. Let's just pin some of that in there. Pull this out just a little bit. And just run it over and under this piece here. And then this kind of already was cut to where it just kind of fit nice. Wasn't that good? Let me just pin him in. Stay off the actual edge because it's a raw edge up there. And okay, now again, I'm gonna eyeball this time. I'm not gonna stitch it down because I think I can cut enough to turn this up when I get ready to stitch that part up like that. I love turning up this fabric or turning down a fabric. especially when it has a different look on the back side. It's like having laying two different things in there, and it gives so much more interest to the landscape, changing the strata colors. Whoops, come up there, and you come down there. That works better. We want to keep things covered here. We're going to turn that and tuck it just a little bit. That will be our next one. Oh, I'm liking that. What about you? Let's put it and test it out. That's looking good, isn't it? Looking good. I like it. Oh, yay. Well, let's sew that in. Don't let it escape. Okay, let's find some thread here. Let's see, I don't have any out right there. I'm going to have to find some. Find some in my drawer over here. Do you like my drawer? That's a pretty good color. I think I like that color better. Kind of seems to play with the darker, a little bit medium tone, earth tones we got going on here. Well, if you want to come off, just come off. Okay. Okay. We 2 strands of a 6-stranded embroidery floss. I separate 2 strands off, and that's what I work with on these projects primarily. And if I change for any reason, I'll let you know, but most of the time, 95% of the time, it's 2 strands of embroidery floss. Every once in a while, I'll get it thicker because I want the stitching to show more for some reason or other at the time. Let's see here. Okay, let's just go from this direction. And I think I'm just going to use the same green on the brown here. It's kind of a neutral olive green, so it'll probably work out just fine. That's a small piece, and it has rough frayed edges, so I'm going to put these first stitches fairly close together. Make sure I get the best attachment there I can get. And I don't pull out all the little bitty threads that are laying around out there. I just sew over them. Okay, I'm going to have to hold this little piece down. Make it stay where I want it. Okay, I got that tip taken care of there. Don't think it's coming out. But again, we're doing it a little tighter, closer together in these areas that need it. I'll take this out so I can manipulate that a little better. I don't need that one in there anymore. Okay. Right. I like that. You know what? I think I'm going to come down and around and over. Well, no, I better go across to make sure I get this top line in the right place, because the bottom line I can adjust. I can unpin it and readjust it. But this line, I need to get it on point up here and cover that bottom part of the layer ahead of it. And I just want to cover it. Not, that's the reason I'm being so persnickety. It's not very wide, if you remember, and I do want that lighter fold-up fabric to show right there. So I have to be very persnickety that I just get it over the edge. Just, again, being fiddly. But fiddly pays off in the end, let me tell you. You end up with what you want. I am surrounded by scraps. I think I've told you that before. I've got them behind me, both sides of me, over my head. Just scraps everywhere. I've got 3 tubs that I'm working out of for these 3 quilt projects. And then other containers beside me that have scraps in them. So I have plenty of inspiration. When I look over, I can see something I want to use. And I don't have to get up, and I don't have to go anywhere. I keep them all around me. And some people, I couldn't work that way because they feel like they're in a nest for sure. But I can, and it works for me, and I don't have to get up. When I sit down, I can just stay here for a while. Then when I have smaller things to work on, I can take them out to my stitching porch and sit out there and stitch. Different view, different mood, different ambiance. It's amazing how that changes the experience. And I do have my hot chai latte. So if you know me very well, you know that it's probably around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, because that's when I really enjoy my hot chai latte. Oh, so good. So good. I have to do it not much later than that because I'm one of them people that if I have caffeine past about 4 o'clock, I don't sleep that night. It gets me wired. So around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I don't know that it does anything for me, but you know what? It works on my mood. I feel pampered. I feel relaxed. I feel special. I just love that I can set my own mood or reset it if it needs to be reset. Okay. Let me cut off this part we do not need right here. Put that in my confetti jar. Oh, get back here. Okay. I could probably win the prize for most chaotic backside. Everything looks, you know, like a herd of ants went through. And they were in a hurry. I'm going to take a little bit of this that's left and put it in my bag because I do want to use it again down the row. Okay, so make sure that any of your fabrics that you incorporate, you put just a little bit in your bag, because if you don't use them down the other blocks down the row, that's fine. But if you do want it, if you do think you need it to keep the continuity of that particular landscape row, then you'll have it. You won't have lost it in the shuffle. Now we can go get that other part. Let me get 2 more strands out of here. I like working with the floss that hasn't been wound around those little bitty things because it's not so kinky. Doesn't tend to knot up as much, but it's harder to keep nice, especially when you just throw it in a little brown box like I do. But I try not to keep too much thread in there. That's the key to keeping it nicer. And I do try to eliminate thread, use them up when I'm in projects like I don't need to coordinate thread colors, like my strings and strips and strings quilt. Any thread goes over there, so I can use up all the odds and ends over there. But here I try, in my landscaping, I am trying to, and in my circles and swirls, I am trying more to coordinate the colors, because that it needs to be coordinated. That's part of the design. Okay. I was watching the other night. I was watching on YouTube this gold prospector, and he was panning, sifting out, what did he call it? Well, I can't remember now, but anyway, and getting out all the chunky pieces and down to the small stuff. And I'm thinking, that's what we're doing with this. We're working out all the scraps. We are panning all the scraps down, seeing if we can come up with gold. I bet we do. I bet we have some precious pieces when we get through with these quilts. I wish I could have a gallery, and everybody who's making one, we could all hang it in the gallery. Wouldn't that be fun? And inspire others. This is a very ravelly edge. Sometimes when I get a little fabric in there, I like to take it and push it under. And if it folds, that's okay, because I can come back and stitch the fold if I need to. You don't always need to. Lots of times I put stipple stitches or seed stitches in an area, like that one right there, just to handle some of that little puffiness. And we don't want that fabric snagging because it's puffing up too much. And I love that little, you see that little, I don't know if you can see it or not. See that little frayed pieces right there? That just adds to the organic feel of this landscape. I just love it. That's why I don't turn edges. I'd lose all that. Now we'll come down and around this bigger piece, get him sewn in. I'm going to say it again. I'll probably say it a million more times. Do not judge a piece until it's finished. The person making it intuitively is doing along what they feel is right, and you won't know if they made good choices or not until you see a finished, because you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what they're going to do to complete that piece. So if you judge it anywhere in between the beginning and the completion, you're really doing that artisan a disservice and yourself, because just what wonderful things happen between starting and finishing. And when somebody puts something on there and you go, oh, yuck, I wouldn't do that. But when they get through, you think, boy, I wish I'd have thought about that. I've done that in the past when I was younger and learning. I was bad about judging stuff too early. And I hurt myself, because it hurts your progress, because you're not taking all that in. You're not seeing how you can use it and tweak it and make it your own, because you've already dismissed it. When I go, in my younger years, I used to go to the Houston Quilt Festival every year in November. My sister lived in outside of Houston, and I'd go down, spend a week, and we would just enjoy the quilt festival every year, and we would spend 2 days there. We loved it, and we looked at every single quilt, whether it was in our particular style or not, didn't matter. We looked at every piece. Sometimes we would stop and discuss how we might have done it different, how we could tweak that and make it our own, what we liked about something, how fabulous the artistry was on a lot of those things, how much wonderful work went into it, and planning. And even though all the structured, what I call structured quilting was not my thing, I enjoyed every bit of it because I could see the artistry, the talent, the work that went into it, and I could appreciate it. And then when I got over to the art quilt section, then I really just wallowed in joy because that was my thing. That's the thing that made my heart sing. And so isn't it just wonderful that we're all are so different, because we wouldn't have all this variety. We'd have to make the same old quilt the same old way every time because we don't have any variety. So I'm so glad that we're different. I'm so happy that all those that went before us did their thing, and they all left us a legacy. When my grandmother was quilting, she wasn't quilting for a hobby. She wasn't quilting for the art of it. She was quilting because her family needed quilts in the winter for their beds. And it wasn't something she could go buy, and it wasn't something she could do in a day or two. So it was a utility thing, but she found a way to enjoy it with her quilting friends and their little quilting bees every week. And but they quilted because they had to. Most of us are doing it because we just want to. Going down. It's looking good. Let's clean it up over here. It bugs me when it's not even on the side. There it is. Confetti jar. Okay, let's put it together again. Looking good. And we will be running, let's see, where's the strip? This was not as wide, but we will be running a strip down through there so you can see how that continuity starts to play off from just the strip doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, what's next? Now in here we have a really green layer, and then we have a purple layer. I'm wondering, I have some lace here, some gray lace. I'm wondering if I can make that my next layer. Let's fold it a little bit because it doesn't need to be that wide, see what it looks like. Audition it, let's say. And then I need to pull some purple. I know I have some purple down in here. Somewhere, yeah, there's some purple. And a little bit of green. This little bit of green here. We will do it like maybe do that along there. Okay. Then, do I have a different purple? I have to look for, I may have to look for that. I think I have some different purples. I mean, here's some more purple. It's actually the same purple. We'll make it work. So, all right, we'll just try. Let's see. Take that one along there like that. And then we might sneak in a little of this green. Let's see here. Just a snip of that. Fold that in there like that. You know, I need to be pinning some of this stuff so that if I like it, I can leave it. There you go. There you go. Stick him under there. There you go. Catch the top of that. I've got that lace folded up. It's giving me a nice layer through there. Let me just get that down. Okay. And it's coming over here. We'll get it in there. And get this purple in. And right there. Okay. And then maybe run a little bit of this see if I can eyeball what I want here. Put that one in there. Just turn it a little. Run it in there. With the green over there. Okay. That might make a really nice layer and have added a whole new section of colors in here on this side. That's good. Then we can connect to those on the next. Okay, so I think I'm going to work with that layout. All right, put those back in my bag. Remember, to keep it really interesting, you don't want just a solid blank purple going all the way across. You want to break it up and place it and like this here, so that excuse me, let me bring you down. Like this here, it's broken up. This is going to be broken up. The greens are broken up. That way it looks realistic, okay, as a landscape. And very seldom do we have a landscape where the same strata is the same color, everything all the way across. It also allows you to play, be a little artsy, use your little scraps in fun ways. Okay. All right, I think that looks good. Now, for a color, what do I want? I think I have another strand of this green. I will use it. Go ahead and use it up. Because it's so muted, it really plays on other colors real well. And before I start that, I'm going to trim off this excess over here. I'll leave it like that. Okay. Put that back in my bag. And the selections in your bag will grow a little bit. For instance, I just put this lace in there, but it wasn't in there the first time because I just used it. But I may want to use it again. So my little bag, you know, it's growing, and it will continue to do that all the way to the end of the 6th block across. Okay, let's just, I got this green, so let's just jump down here and do this green layer. Attach it to this lace layer. What? Do a knot, Linda. Do a knot. Do a knot. Okay, let's try that again. Let's pull that lace under that green just a little bit. See if we can catch it the first time. Good deal. Put our stitches fairly close. The first 2 or 3 as we're coming out of the gate to make it nice and firm, and then we can spread them out a little. This thread, this particular fabric, does not fray real easy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change my stitch up. Instead of overcasting, I'm going to do a small running stitch. Have you told a friend about our quilts? Do you have any friends that like things like this? Be sure to let them know they might want to join us. You might have some friends like I do. They like to watch, but they don't ever want to do. They don't want to make one, but they like watching me make it just because I guess they're my friend. I don't know, but they just like, they say you find it entertaining, and but they don't ever want to tackle one. We. Okay. This one I'm going to have to manipulate and get him, and put me another piece in there. Pull it up and over that lace. Connect it good here at the top. And let me get another piece, and you see how my line is. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. See where my pink line is? I'm not filling that area. And, well, it's not, critical. Well, it's not critical. You know what? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to bring this piece up into that. Nobody will ever know, and you won't tell, I'm sure. You can fill it in, stay inside the lines, or you can improvise and use that little gap for a way to change your bottom piece a little bit. And if anybody says anything about it, you tell them it's a design thing. Let's go across and fasten it down. Even though the next layer is going to come up over it, I want to get a little bit on here so this lace isn't going anywhere. And then I'm going to go to a more purple thread to work the purples. Really? I'd have to break out some more green here because I've got more green to do here. When I've got points and kind of frayed pointy edges, I just feather out my stitches at the end. Cover all of that. Works well. Come at an angle and kind of feather them out. Whoops. Okay. Didn't want to double up my thread there. Change your stitch lengths, change your directions, change your style. Don't do the same thing all the time. Even if you're just doing a straight stitch, there's so many different ways you can do it that makes it look different. Okay, I'm going to have to get me some more green. Okay, I'm going to stop right there on that for right this minute, and I will be doing some of this off camera, but this is the way it's looking right now for our 1 and 2 block. Okay, and then I'll be back with some more. Are you staying scrap happy? I hope so. And stay safe too. Bye-bye.